The United States Air Force just went blind. Not degraded, not operating at reduced capacity, blind. In the span of 18 hours, 4 E-3 Sentry aircraft, the most critical intelligence and coordination platforms in the American military, were destroyed across 2 countries. 2 at Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, 1 in Qatar, 1 at a classified location the Pentagon will not name because naming it confirms exactly what Iran already proved, that Iran knows precisely where every American asset in this region is parked, fueled, and staffed. If you think 4 aircraft burning on runways is a setback, you are measuring this event with the wrong ruler. This is not a setback. This is a different category of event entirely. This is the moment the air war changed its fundamental character. And once you understand what the E-3 Sentry actually does, what it sees, what it coordinates, what it protects, you will understand why every American pilot flying over the Persian Gulf right now is operating in conditions no American aviator has faced since the Korean War. Stay with me. Because what happened in the last 18 hours has implications that stretch far beyond 4 burning aircraft, and the full picture is one that no official briefing is telling you completely. The E-3 Sentry is not a fighter jet. It carries no bombs, fires no missiles, and has no offensive capability whatsoever. What it carries is something far more valuable in an active air war: total, continuous, overwhelming vision. Built on a Boeing 707 airframe and fitted with a rotating radar dome 30 feet in diameter mounted above the fuselage, the E-3 flies at 29,000 feet and simultaneously tracks more than 600 aircraft within a 250-mile radius in every direction. It distinguishes commercial aircraft from military ones. It identifies threat profiles from radar signatures alone. It tracks ballistic missiles from the moment they leave the ground. But the most critical function, the one that changes survival calculations for every pilot depending on it, is coordination. The E-3 feeds every friendly aircraft in its operational bubble a continuously updated picture of everything in the sky, where Iranian interceptors are launching from, where air defense radars are active, what the projected intercept trajectory of an incoming missile looks like with enough time remaining to maneuver away from it. It coordinates electronic warfare aircraft to blind Iranian radar at the precise second a strike package crosses the border. It is not a support aircraft sitting at the edge of the operation. It is the brain of the entire air campaign. The fighters are its fists, and without the brain, the fists swing without knowing what is swinging back. For the past 2 weeks, every American F-35, F-15, F-16, and B-1 flying strike missions over Iran flew with that brain watching over them. The E-3 overhead was tracking every threat, calculating every intercept, feeding pilots real-time awareness that transformed each individual aircraft into a node in a networked, intelligent, coordinated force. That coordination is now gone. The pilots who launched missions this morning did so without it, and the operational consequences are not theoretical. They are immediate, measurable, and dangerous. Iranian air defense operators who previously had roughly 90 seconds of warning before an American aircraft entered effective radar range now have an additional 3 to 4 minutes of acquisition time. 3 to 4 minutes is the difference between a radar being jammed before it completes a targeting lock and a radar successfully handing off a live firing solution to an Iranian surface-to-air missile battery. That gap, those extra minutes of Iranian radar operation over the most contested airspace on Earth, was purchased with 4 aircraft burning on 2 runways, and it will show up in American loss rates in the coming days, in briefings that describe those losses as operational complexity rather than what they actually are. The United States Air Force operates exactly 33 E-3 Sentry aircraft. That is the complete global inventory. Not 33 deployed to this theater, not 33 in reserve, but 33 in existence across the entire American military. Losing 4 of them in 18 hours means 12% of the total American E-3 fleet was destroyed in a single operational period against a single adversary. NATO allies operate additional variants. The United Kingdom has 6, France has 4, Saudi Arabia operates 5 of a modified version, and their coverage partially fills the gaps left behind. But NATO E-3s are not cleared to operate inside Iranian contested airspace. They supplement, they do not replace. And replacement, in the traditional sense, is not possible at all. The E-3 production line closed in 1992. There are no new airframes being manufactured anywhere on Earth. Every E-3 that exists today is the E-3 that will ever exist until the program's successor, the E-7 Wedgetail, completes its significantly delayed development schedule. The E-7 program is running years behind its original timeline. There is no emergency production option. There is no warehouse of spare aircraft. The 4 aircraft that burned on those runways are not coming back. Not in weeks, not in months, not ever. What was destroyed yesterday is permanently gone. What makes the E-3 strikes more alarming than the aircraft losses themselves is the intelligence that made them possible. E-3 Sentry aircraft do not park in predictable locations. Their positioning is actively managed to reduce exactly this kind of vulnerability. They rotate between primary bases and forward locations on schedules that are classified. Their exact parking coordinates on any given night exist in no public database, no commercial satellite imagery service, no open source intelligence feed. For Iran to destroy 4 E-3s across 2 countries in the same 18-hour window, it needed current, precise, coordinate-level intelligence on the exact location of each aircraft, not general areas, not approximate runways, but specific parking aprons accurate enough to guide ballistic missiles to their targets. That intelligence came from one of 2 places. Either Iran has human sources inside American bases, people with access to daily aircraft positioning and maintenance schedules, which means Iran has penetrated the security perimeter of at least 2 American military installations at a level that demands immediate counterintelligence investigation. Or Iran has signals intelligence capable of tracking E-3 radar systems during ground power-up cycles and calculating precise physical positions from emissions alone. Neither explanation is comfortable. Both have implications that reach far beyond 4 aircraft. The E-3 losses do not exist in isolation. They are the third link in a chain of capability destruction that has been unfolding systematically throughout this conflict. In the weeks prior, this war consumed Patriot radar systems that coordinated American air defense. It destroyed aerial refueling tankers that gave American fighters the range to operate deep into Iranian territory. And now it has taken the airborne early warning aircraft that coordinated the entire networked battle picture. These are not random losses across unrelated systems. They are the sequential removal of the 3 specific capabilities that transform individual American aircraft into an integrated, overwhelming air force. Strip out the air defense radars and the missile shield weakens. Strip out the tankers and the operational reach shortens. Strip out the E-3s and the coordinating intelligence disappears entirely. What remains are capable individual aircraft operating without the system architecture that made them collectively dominant. Iran is not attacking American air power in the traditional sense. Iran is disassembling it, component by component, in a sequence that reflects a predetermined operational logic written before the first missile of this war was ever fired. The international response to the E-3 losses reveals how carefully other major powers are studying this conflict. Russia's reaction was technical, rapid, and precise. Russian military analysts published a detailed assessment within hours of the strikes, noting that the loss of 4 E-3 aircraft creates specific coverage gaps over the northern Persian Gulf that their own monitoring architecture had independently mapped. The assessment was precise enough to be operationally useful. Russia is not a neutral observer here. It operates its own airborne early warning aircraft, the A-50 mainstay, and Russian commanders understand exactly what losing 4 of them would mean for an integrated air campaign. Their public commentary is not analysis for general audiences. It is a signal to every military planner capable of reading it. We see what is happening, we understand what it means, and we are documenting every step. China published nothing official, but Chinese military aviation forums, used as informal channels when the government does not want direct attribution, carried detailed technical analysis of the E-3 losses within hours. The specific vulnerability Iran exploited is being studied in Beijing with a precision that has nothing to do with sympathy for either side and everything to do with understanding what works against American air power when the time comes to apply that knowledge elsewhere. The pilots flying today are the final point, and the most human one. 2 weeks ago, an American aviator approaching Iranian airspace flew informed. The E-3 overhead was tracking every threat in a 250-mile bubble, feeding that pilot a continuously updated picture showing exactly where dangers were, how fast they were moving, and what response time remained. Every decision was made with complete situational awareness. That same pilot flying today is making those same decisions with fundamentally degraded information. The coverage gaps are concentrated precisely over the approach corridors into Iran that American strike packages use most frequently, not distributed randomly, but targeted exactly where they hurt most. Every aircrew launching from every base in this theater now carries a survival calculation that is measurably worse than it was 48 hours ago. The E-3 losses cannot be repaired by deploying replacement assets on any timeline this conflict will allow. You can fly another tanker in within 48 hours. You cannot replace an E-3, its experienced crew, its ground support infrastructure, and its integrated communications architecture within any window that matters. The American Air Force flying today is structurally different from the one that flew 2 weeks ago, less connected, less informed, and operating over airspace that is permanently more dangerous. 4 aircraft, 12% of an irreplaceable fleet, destroyed in 18 hours across 2 countries using intelligence precise enough to find some of the most carefully hidden assets in the American military. The E-3 Sentry losses are not a chapter in this war. They are a turning point, the moment the conflict revealed its true architecture. Iran did not attack American air power. Iran removed the eyes that made American air power function as a system. And the question that no official briefing is answering out loud, because answering it means confronting what it implies, is the one that matters most now. If Iran could locate and destroy 4 E-3s simultaneously with that level of precision, what else has already been found, already mapped, already loaded into targeting systems waiting to be used? The aircraft are gone. The question is still open. And somewhere in the silence between official statements and classified assessments, the answer is already written.